Okay, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about the complexity and simplicity theory, but I did already go over the idea behind it, so now I'm going to go more into the models, right? So that's what we're going to do today, all right? You guys ready? I got my dry erase pen and a lab coat. First thing we gotta do is talk about the mind, body, and the soul, the spectrum that they're on. I know they're not really a binaries, but I'm posing them like that for the purpose of the model. So we have anxiety, calm, love and fear, joy and frustration. Got it? So I took the three lines from up above, and because they don't actually operate independently, I connected them all on this axis. That axis is actually the self. It's like who we are, and that access point kind of shifts depending on our mood state. Quick note about the mood state. The mood state is an idea that says our emotions affect how we see the world, and how we see the world is a product of our identity. So our emotions change our identity because they change how we see the world. Just like this filter it makes things that were white into blue, which is kind of like joy. Oh, and since we're on Instagram, we know about filters. Filters change the way we see the world. They skew our perspective. When our perspective is skewed, it changes the decisions that we make because it kind of changes our version of reality. So our emotions not only change who we are, but they change our reality. I digress. Let me catch you guys back up. So what I did is I took those three lines, put them on a center axis. On either side of those lines is a side. They're kind of like the sides of ourself. It's like a different side of myself that I show when I'm angry. You get it, right? So these are the sides. Okay, we got mind, body, and soul represented by three lines with two sides each hovering around a single axis. What has six sides all connected hovering around a single axis? Well, I will tell you. A cube! Okay, now I've established where I got the cube from. I got a colorful cube with six sides that represents the self. I want to take that cube off the wall and bring it into the world. Bow! Remember when we were talking about simplicity and complexity? Well, we need simple cubes. That is, we need to understand our emotions so we can understand how they affect ourselves and how we see the world. That's what this whole experiment is about. We got to learn to understand our emotions because they affect the way that we exist and operate in the world. These emotional color filters maybe make us do things that we wouldn't do otherwise, and we want to know what those shifts are because the world is already complex and we don't need additional anxiety. So, on one side of the room I set up this very complex color wall. We're going to do some experiences that mess with the colors we're able to access. The colors being the emotions that we're able to access while we try to set up this very safe and simple and cozy color wall that's all organized and neat. Recap, mind, body, soul, three lines with two sides each on a single axis, that's a cube, but the cube is complex. Comprehending complexity down to simplicity is comprehension, right? We need to understand the self and its complexity so we can solve the world in its complexity, making the world simple and understandable and safer.